seems like there are a couple people struggling with this, so I'm going to go over this, and I'm also going to post the key. That way you can check yourself. If you think you have it and you don't need to watch the video, please feel free to move on. But I wanted to go over this for a couple people, and I will, if you've turned it in, I will put in the comments those of you that might want to watch it again. So let's just look at a couple together. So if we look at number 1, I'm looking at the factors of 8 and the factors of 6. So my factors of 8 would be would be 1 times 8, 2 times 4. And that's it. Those are the only factors of 8 that we have. My factors of 6 would be 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. Okay, so I find that my greatest common factor is going to be the 2. They're the highest number that both have in common. So I'm going to put my 2 on the outside of the parentheses, and I'm going to divide everything by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, plus 6 divided by 2 is 3, and I'm going to bring that x to the 4th down. Okay, so now I can look, and there's nothing else that the numbers have in common, nor do they have any variables in common, because the 4 doesn't have a variable. The 3 has an x to the 4th, but the 4 doesn't have one to go with it. So then let's look at number 3, and let's look at the difference between the two. So if you look at number 3, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write my factors. So I have 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. And then my factors of 12 would be 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. And so here my greatest common factor is 4. Both of these have a 4 in it. And I'm going to go ahead and factor out my 4. I'm going to put it on the outside of the parentheses and divide each number by 4. And right now I'm only looking at the numbers. Everything else is just going to follow along. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, or I can just bring down the n to the 9th, plus 12 divided by 4 is 3, and bring my n down. Okay, so now I'm going to look at the letters. And I'm asking myself, what is the highest number, highest power that they both have in common? And if I need to, I can write a 1 here. Anytime it's just the letter by itself, it's n or x or whatever it is to the 1 power. And so when I ask myself that, the highest number I can take out of both ends is 1. I can't take 9 out of n to the first because there's only 1 there. So basically it looks like this. If I were to write this out, I could write n times n times n times n times n. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's here. And then n to the first is just 1. So 1 is the most that I can take out of both. So now when I rewrite this, I'm going to keep my 4 out there. Everything now is we're going to talk about the letters. We already did the numbers, so we're talking about the letters. So my 4 stays out. I'm going to take 1 n out. And after I take 1 n away from n to the 9th, I'm just subtracting 1. I get n to the 8th. Plus, I'm going to bring that 3 down. And when I take 1 away from n to the first, it cancels out. I don't have any n's left there. So when I take 1 away, and I could do it like this, and I can count here, and I can see that I have 8, and here I have 0. So I have 4n times n to the 8th plus 3. Okay, so we need to do this in steps because it's gonna help us work with the numbers first and then the letters. So let's look at another one that has some letters. Let's look at number 7. Again, I'm only gonna work with the numbers to start. The numbers in front of my variable. Okay, so now my factors of 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And my factors of 16, 1 and 16, 2 and 8, and 4 and 4. So the highest number I can take out is a 4. They both have 2's, but the highest number I can take out is 4. So I'm going to put my 4 on the outside of the parentheses, and I'm going to divide my numbers by 4. I'm going to bring my ends along with me this time. So 12 divided by 4 is 3, n to the 5th, plus, I just brought that straight down. 16 divided by 4 is 4, n to the 3rd. I just brought that straight down. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at my letters. So I'm going to look at my n's. Okay, and I'm asking myself, what is the most amount of n's that I can take out? So if I were to write this like I did before, I have 5 n's. And then from this one, and then I have 3 n's from this one. And the most, if I cross them out, the most I can take out is 3, right? So when I take 3 out, I'm going to put my 4 n to the 3rd on the outside because I'm taking 3 n's out. And I can just subtract the exponents at the top. So 5 minus 3, because I'm taking 3 away from that set of n's, gives me n to the 2nd. Oh, I'm sorry, wait. Let me go back and add. I need to bring my 3 down. It's 3 n to the 2nd, plus bring my 4 down, 4, and when I take 3 away from here, I get 0. So it cancels out and I don't have any n's. So this is my answer. 4n to the 3rd times 3n squared plus 4. All right, I want to do at least one more. Let's look here. Let's see if you can determine what the difference is here. So I know, just for the sake of time, I know that the greatest common factor of 60 and 50 is 10. So I'm going to put my 10 on the outside. I'm going to divide each number by 10. And I'm going to get negative 6 plus 6n squared plus 5n to the 3rd. Okay, so now I'm going to look at the numbers. Now I'm going to look at the letters. I have an n to the 3rd here, an n to the 2nd here. I don't even have an n here. So I can't do anything else. If not all of the terms don't have an n, it doesn't sound right. If all of the terms are different, meaning that something doesn't have a variable, then we can't do anything else. So this right here is my final answer. So I would leave it like that. Okay, now let's do the most difficult one here really quickly. And again, I'm gonna do it one step at a time. I'm looking at my numbers first. And for the sake of time, I know that the greatest common factor here is it 12? 60, See, now I can't even think. Yeah, 6 is 12. So my greatest common factor here is 12. So I'm going to put my 12 on the outside, divide everything by 12. Sorry about that. And I get left on the inside, I get negative 2a squared b squared. I just brought those down. Plus 36 divided by 12 is 3ab. I just brought that down. Minus 60 divided by 12 is 5, and bring down my a. So now I have a's and b's here, and I'm just going to focus on one at a time. And so in this case, I'm just going to start with my a's. I have an a squared, an a, and an a. So the most number of a's, and I can put this to the first if I want, the most number of a's that I can take out is 1. Because I can't take 2 a's out of that because there's only 1 there. I can't take 2 a's out of that because there's only 1 there. So the most I can take out is 1. So I'm going to bring my a, my 12 down, add my a there. Now I'm going to bring my negative 2 down, and then a to the second minus 1 just gives me a. I didn't do anything with the b squared yet, so I'm going to bring it along. Plus 3a to the first minus 1 cancels that out, so I'm just going to bring my b down. Minus 5a to the first minus 1 cancels out. I'm just going to bring my 5 down. Okay, so now I'm done with my a's. So now I'm looking at my b's. Here I have b to the second. I have b, but here I don't even have a b. So I can't take any b's out. So this is my answer because I can't take anything else out. There's no b. There's a b here. There's a b here, but there's no b there. So we can't take anything else out. So that's the answer. So check the answer key. I'm happy to answer any questions if you still have questions after this video. And if you still got some wrong after looking at the answer key, let me know and we will go through it together.